Today, success, money, and business are on everyone's mind. People everywhere want to succeed, earn more money, build wealth. At some point, we all ask ourselves, how can I start my own business, startup, or a side hustle? Basically, the question is, how can I make more money? To become an entrepreneur, I can learn from entrepreneurs who already succeed. I can find entrepreneur stories on websites like Forbes, entrepreneur.com, but they usually focus on how much money they have, not the actual journey of building a business. It can motivate us or show how entrepreneur lifestyle looks like, but that's not what I'm looking for. I can read books about success stories, but they are mostly about big companies like Google, Netflix, or Amazon, not about starting a small business. Small and medium businesses drive the world's economy. Every big company started out as a small business. But after a lot of searching, I realized there is not much content about small businesses. How they operate, how they started, how much profit they make. So I decided to collect real stories from small business owners, including details about their investments, profit, and generally how they got started. Now I want to share one of them. It's a business case about growing and selling garlic. Why especially this case? So let me explain. Agriculture business is different kind of business. Unlike others, you don't need here to create something new, work with clients, or provide a special service or unique product. This is why it's important to study it, because it works in its own way. We can learn that agriculture business is about being big. If you plant a large area, you can make good money. The background story of our business case is like this. Before our business owner came to this idea, he found out that 90% of garlic sold in his country are imported from other countries. So he saw an opportunity. In the first year, he started with a small piece of land, just 0.3 hectares. It's almost half of the size of a football pitch. With this small land, he did most of the work by hand, using only a small walking tractor. Planting garlic took many days because of this. He worked hard, but the revenue was only about $1,500. He was disappointed, a failure. In the next year, he learned from his mistakes and planted on 3 hectares of land. It's almost the size of 4 football fields. With this large area, he knew he couldn't do everything by hand, so he bought a bigger tractor with attachable tools. It made the work much easier and took less time to plant everything. And in that year, he made a profit $21,000. And it's definitely a success. It's because he made a large volume. So in agriculture business, it's important to do a large volume if you want a big profit. When we produce in large volumes, automation is key. Even a small task, when repeated hundreds of times, can take days or even months to complete. So let me explain. When planting a garlic, before we can put it in the ground, we need to break each garlic head into individual cloves. We can do this by hand, but it's incredibly time consuming when you are working with large quantities. In our case, for a small area, the farmer needed about 360 kilograms of garlic to plant. He broke each head into cloves by hand, and it took him 15 days to finish. But for a large field, he needed 3,600 kilograms of garlic. If he had done it all by hand, it would take him 150 days. That's where automation makes a huge difference. So this farmer built a handmade crusher that automatically breaks garlic heads into cloves. With the crusher, he reduced the time needed from 150 days down to just 40 days. Automation isn't just helpful, it's essential, and it makes large-scale works possible. And also what large-scale farming possible is using pesticides and other chemicals. Our business owner wanted to grow organic garlic without pesticides, but in reality, it turned out that growing something without chemicals on a large scale isn't possible. It can only be done on small backyard level. So he ended up spending $1,500 on chemicals for 3 hectares of land. To harvest a high quality product, it's important to understand your product well. In our case, product is garlic, so we need to know its structure and growth process. Garlic starts from cloves planted in the ground. From each clove, a stem grows, and at the top of that stem is a garlic flavor bud. In combine, we call it garlic scape. Before harvesting, we need to remove scape because it takes nutrients away from the main garlic head. When people harvest garlic in backyard, they often leave the scapes on, as the soil usually has enough nutrients for both scape and the head to grow well. But in a large-scale farming, the soil loses all nutrients over time, so garlic shifts nutrients from garlic head to scape, reducing the quality of the final product. Removing scapes is difficult to automate, so in our business case, it's done by hand. Business cases provide the valuable insights about how startups and small businesses work and operate. Even garlic planting business offers a lot to learn. You can find more details about garlic business on my Notion page, link in the description below. I've also covered other business cases like t-shirt production, beekeeping, leather bag production and more. I'll be sharing more videos on each of these, so hit subscribe button to stay tuned.